Hi everyone, welcome to the Women's Panel live stream. Make sure to like the live stream on the way in, and the link is in the chat. And we'll be getting started real soon. And before I let anyone on the panel, I'm going to let the women, come up, come up, and then we'll get the live stream started. Hopefully, then. Okay, there is one back thing. Still looking for like four more before we can get the live stream started. Okay, that's the link. Waiting for Christmas and them to show up. Still waiting for Christmas and them to show up. We're still waiting for others to appear. Yeah, we're still waiting for others to appear. Because this is a women's panel, so yeah. Hang on, everyone. I'll be right back. Okay, and for the ones who are in the back, we're waiting for, I think, five, at least three more. Three more. Because I want this to be the place where people, where the women can talk. Huh. And this is what a women's panel tonight. Only the women get to come up here and speak. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and
Okay. And like I said, this is a women's panel. Uh, yeah. Who's Aaron Woodward experience on X? Never mind. All right. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start the live stream and let me get this welcome sign out the way real quick. Get the get the welcome sign. And I just want to say hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women's Panel live stream. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, this is a place where the women can finally speak. Uh, so yeah. Dang it! I think everybody knew that I was live tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, I'm gonna let the women talk. Again, this is a women's panel live stream, meaning only the women can, come up here and speak. And right now, I'm about to let the woman that is here speak, and and yeah, I'm gonna be quiet. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
This is a women's panel, so anybody. So I'm letting the women talk tonight. I'm still waiting for other women to show up, and once they do, uh, then I can let them up.
Okay, I don't know who was that in the back, but that was pretty disrespectful to be calling people the N words in their own chat. But anyways, So, what I want to talk about is Black women in unemployment. I know a lot of Black women has been laid off since Trump administration came into power, and now that Black women, and it's uh, over 300,000 of us are unemployed. What are we going to do? That's the question. I know not every one of us can own a business. I know it's a lot to even try to own a business, but if if you know a Black woman that's in your field and she's hiring for a job, I will apply to that job, to a Black woman, because Black women are more likely to hire each other, and that's very empowering because there's 100% chance that you won't get laid off your job, or nobody has to fire you based on your race. But we have been targeted by this administration because of the way we voted. We voted for Kamala in the beginning, and now they're laying us off from our jobs for no reason at all. And there isn't a reason for that. But I want to encourage Black women to find your own way to to get income. Like you can make your own website to do your own business. You could sell like candles, perfume, whatever your preference is, whatever your skill is. Go ahead and do that. Because Black women, we need to find an avenue for ourselves, because right now we're living in a country that is very racist in this Trump administration. Nobody's hiding it anymore. Nobody's hiding their racism, and we're people's number one target, because once again we're not protected through the system, and we're most likely to face more discrimination, not just because of our race, it's also because of our gender. We're women, so we as Black women, we have survived this long, and we have been through a lot in this country, and I know we're gonna be okay in this country. We just got to keep our heads up, keep our spirits up, and because what the number one thing is, they want to break our spirits. They want to break our spirits, and they want us to um, be in a position where we don't have any options. And I want to let you know that we do have options. Uh, we do need to support each other as women, especially Black women, and try to navigate against this world that is against us. That's all I have to say. Cyber, welcome. You can go ahead and talk now. I don't want to
How
take up.
you doing, Cyber?
Hey Alex, long time no talk. Miss Betterman, how are you? How's my mic?
It's
I've
good.
been
I can hear you.
I've been having troubles with this mic, but I think as far as Black women in the employment sector, I think Black women are going to do what they always done. Um, Black women are the most resilient, um, most creative, and the most headstrong in this country. As far as this administration, I wouldn't necessarily say that this administration itself is targeting because of our voting, because Black women predominantly through history have voted Democrat. Um, I think with all of the I think the highlighting of our voting this year, I've never seen so many people online not targeting, but highlighting the fact that we voted for, or Black women voted for Kamala at the races they voted for. I've never seen that throughout the history of voting for Black women. I think the fact that it was highlighted and talked about and used and weaponized against Black women, I think that could be part of the reason. But the women that were, you know, given their pink slips, they're going to be resilient. These are educated women. Um, these aren't the low level women that the people online be trying to describe. So I think they're going to be resilient. I think they're going to come out on top on this. And I think at the time that we're in, I think Black women should give each other more grace, whether it's different backgrounds that you might have, different personal choices you may take. I think Black women should give each other grace in this time. Um, that's all I have to say to that.
And yeah, um, and that's the thing about it too, and that and I've seen stories of Black women, becoming entrepreneurs and everything else. I believe that Black women will break it, will survive this. I believe that. I believe that they will survive this.
We will, like I been laid off my job, and I just got another job that I'm working with. So we are resilient, and we can get through these hard times, even though the prices of everything, like rent and housing, food, is very expensive. And not only that, health healthcare healthcare is going to go up 3 times more than it is now by January 1st. And as Black women, we are 10 times more to be uh, pushed out of the medical field, because there is this rumor going around, or this fake theory going around, where they said, oh, Black women don't feel no pain, or they don't need anesthesia, and it makes it, when people make up BS like that, it makes us feel like we're not human. And Black women are just like any other woman. We feel pain during births, and we do feel pain when we're hurt. And a lot of that gets missed, because people don't believe that we feel pain, and we do feel pain as Black women. And sometimes we're not allowed to express that, because people don't allow us to to be vulnerable and to express ourselves. They believe that we shouldn't do that, but we should do that, because we want, as Black women, we want to be heard, because we've been in pain for, like, ever since slavery even started. So just to hear that Black women just recently, and I only heard of two, and it's not going to stop. It's gonna, if the people in the medical field are going to continue to do this, it's sad to me to hear that Black women both are were in labor, being ignored by the doctors, and not seen as as an emergency, to even see a doctor. Like one lady gave birth in her husband's car because the hospital discharged her, saying that, oh, she's not she's not dilated, she's not at this centimeters or whatever. And that lady was in pain. Uh she was about to give birth, and the lady that was in that wheelchair in Texas, that white lady that was evaluating her and not taking her to a doctor, not realizing she was in pain. It feels like as black women we're being ignored and we're not being heard. And and this really concerns me, because how long is it that black women are going to go through this? Because we're 10 times more to die from birth than any other group of women, because there is a myth out there saying that black women don't feel pain. And
I think that's always been the case.
it has always been the case,
You know,
but
with
why?
the OBGYN, they got a lot of their information by experimenting on black women. So
Yeah,
this is a
which was
known thing.
horrible. Which was very horrible, and these women had to suffer through it because they didn't get any anesthesia. They were just experimented on, and that ruined their and that traumatized them for the rest of their lives. And this happened through slavery. And I was like wondering, when are these doctors going to realize that black women are human too? We're human just like everybody else. We bleed like everyone else. We feel pain as everyone else. And I wish this myth would go away, because this is pure racism. It's just all based on racism that you know we don't feel pain. It's nothing but the devil.
I think it's going to push black women not to have children. It's already the birth rates for the black community is it's basically in a decline. So in in order to, if we know these facts and we know this about the 2025 healthcare system, it's best to not go into those maternity wards, right? But the question I would ask is, if you look across the YouTube streets, everyone would say, we have black women have been sucked up in the drama of talking about all things other than black women's issues.
Hmm.
Until we as black women on these sectors start talking about our issues, and not waver and not compromise and not add into our conversations, then it's going to be the same.
I think it has to be more than black women. I think everybody has to talk about this.
Yeah, but
That
because we're targeted, they're going to
Mhm.
suffer too. Not the healthcare cost is not just going to hit us; it's going to hit everyone.
I know it's gonna hit everyone, but I think it's gonna hit us more because you know we're we're a we're as black women, even though we're in success in other uh even though we're having success in our field of study, you know with the medical with medical and everything. Oh, like I'm trying to get the words out. I really don't like thinking about this, but this is something that needs to be discussed, because it has to involve us. Like, we can't pay for premiums that's going to be 10 times than what it is right now. And a lot of black people are not going to be insured, especially when you're low income. And that puts black women in a lot in at risk, because there are black women uh, are that are obese, or are facing obesity, that probably diabetic, has cancer, that's about to give birth. We're facing a lot in this world, and without health care or anything to replace health care, uh we're gonna die slowly, if not faster, because we're 10 times more likely to be turned away from these medical centers. That's what I was trying to get.
I mean, I don't disagree with nothing you're saying. I'm looking at it as a cause and effect, right? So we have the causes and what type of effect it's going to have on Black women. Is it going to make Black women create their own institutions? Is it going to cause us to leave? Um, what is going to be the effect other than paying high premiums?
My
I don't think the percentage of Black women um, of using Medi-Cal and Medicaid is a high percentage. I'm not sure. I haven't done it. Have anybody looked up those numbers?
I haven't looked up what kind of medical insurance Black women are under myself, but if anything, I think Medi-Cal will be it, because you don't have to. It doesn't cost anything. But if you're under like Blue Cross or Kaiser or anything outside of Medi-Cal, the premiums are gonna go up.
But then that's going to affect. So Kaiser and all of those are private insurance, right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
are attached to employment.
Mhm.
So if the employers, it's going to cause layoffs, right? Because
Mhm.
if the employers don't want to pick up the tab, it's going to trickle down to the employees, and
Exactly, and it's
that's
gonna
going to
come out of
shrink.
their check. It's gonna
Yeah,
come
that's
out of
going to
their check
shrink their checks.
if they choose to get the medical insurance from their employer. Because my last employer, I had medical insurance through them because I wasn't eligible for a medical at the time, so I had to get medical insurance through them, and they were through Kaiser. And
But that would mean that they're going to destabilize the
mhm,
workforce. And why?
yeah, I don't know, but in as far as I know, in California, once the premium goes up, I think what's happening now is that Kaiser is now partnering with Medi-Cal. So I think they're going to merge, as as a unit. But I off as far as I know is that Medi-Cal, um, there's there's going to be certain medication they're not going to cover anymore. And I know weight loss medication is one of them. And weight loss medication is expensive as AF. Trust me, I looked it up in my state, and they cost over $1,000 for weight loss medication, and Medi-Cal is not going to cover that. So it is weight loss medication is very expensive, and there's going to be other medications they're not going to cover as well. So a lot of people have to come out of pocket to pay for the medication
Well,
that.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with them
Mhm,
downsizing with that type of medication because
mhm,
it's not necessarily life and death medication.
mhm,
What is like chemo for breast cancer.
mhm,
Black women have a high propensity to have breast cancer. Diabetes is diabetes medication, dialysis.
mhm,
Um, there's other things that can be detrimental to health, that if it's not being downsized, then I'm fine with some of the cosmetic stuff of medicine, because I believe
Mhm.
that weight loss medication is like cosmetic to me. That's just my
Mhm.
opinion.
Yeah,
That
but
means we got to get out. We're gonna have to get out and walk and exercise now.
well, if you can afford a gym membership, but
You don't need a
going
gym
out,
membership. Just go
well,
walk. We can do
yeah,
a
you can
walking
go walk.
campaign across America.
Yeah, well, you can go walk, that helps, but, there's other areas that I would like to strengthen my body as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just weights and
Yeah, I can lift weights at home. I
yeah,
could find
it's
something heavy
I
and
think it's
lift
going to
it.
force it's see, I think they're playing a dangerous game with women,
Hmm.
because it's already shifting women's minds now, and it's not just black women, it's
Hmm.
all races of women are shifting,
Hmm.
and these males that in this patriarchy that's in power is causing the shift in women's minds. Not only in the beginning it was just black women screaming to the top of the hills this and this and that. Now it's other races of women saying the same sentiments and actually understanding now. But because they've been privileged under the patriarchy that's in place, right? They have no sense of urgency as black women. But now everyone is being affected, not just black women.
Yeah, because they in some states, well, I would say most states, they got rid of their abortion clinics. And not
Hmm.
only that, they want to get rid of prenatal care. They want to get rid of, anything that helps out a woman in her birth. But my thing is, how can you be pro birth and you're cutting off the very thing that women need? Like, that's not pro birth. It's like you're killing off a population of the future. And I'm trying to, I'm very flabbergasted at what is going on and what the administration is thinking, because you can't be pro birth and expect women to give birth when cost of living is high. And not only that, you're trying to cut off medical treatment that helps women that is expecting a child. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, we have 3 more years of the Trump administration, right? So what are we have to figure out, not figure out, but we have to come together as black women to understand what's going on in the minds of black women. Do we care enough to stand up?
I
Do we
think
care? Do we care enough to give women, support and
I
grace?
I think black women can do things behind the scenes besides protest. There are black women that are doctors, and I'm pretty sure they're talking to other women of other races about how they can get around, um, how they can, prevent women from dying from childbirth.
The
Uh,
only thing I can think about it is don't get pregnant, and
yeah,
that's the option. That's the option that women are taking.
that's one of the options, but there's other women that are married and they want a family as well. Not every, I understand that there are women out there that don't want children, but there's women out there that do. And they're at risk of dying from childbirth. So my thing is, what about those women? How can we prevent those women from dying from childbirth if there's not going to be any resources for them?
Only suggestion I would say is go in healthy
Yeah, you can
before
go.
before
You
all
can.
this medical. So you're basically saying it's medical malpractice that's causing um the high rates of childbirth death, right?
Yeah, because there, because if you're a pregnant woman and you don't have medical insurance, there's a likely chance that the doctor might not see you, and because you don't have medical insurance, and they can turn you away, and that could cause the woman to pass away from childbirth because there's no doctors to
Now you said married women, so you're saying that these married women don't have
Mhm.
medical insurance?
um I'm not s- I, I'm not saying that they don't, but it's going to be likely because of the cost of the insurance premiums are going to go up, and most people could not afford it. And this is why a lot of people are very angry the uh, because of the big beautiful bill, and how it's affecting people's livelihoods. And having health care should be a right. And I also believe that having health care should be free. It shouldn't cost a thing. And I think this is something that the this country made a mistake on, is having free health care, not having free health care. And if you have free health care, people don't have to worry about having a bill sent to their home. People are can be covered in every medical expensive. It doesn't matter whether it's cosmetic surgery or not. It can be covered. You know what I'm saying? So free healthcare should have been on the table instead of the premiums going up, and people are not going to be able to have healthcare because it's too expensive. Because right now people are choosing whether or not they should pay their car note, their rent, versus having food on their table. People are making hard decisions now, and now it now healthcare is not going to be an option anymore for them because they can't afford it. So what I suggest people to do is like what you just said earlier, Cyber, is to start eating healthy, drink lots and lots of water, stop drinking beer, stop drinking a lot of wine, um, stop eating a lot of sugar, calm down on the sugar. It's a lot cheaper to just drink water than to buy juice and soda nowadays. People are going to have to sacrifice since they're not going to have insurance.
Yeah,
They're
and
going
I'm an avid believer that adversity builds character. So we, like I said in the beginning of my monologue, I think Black women is going to persevere. They're going to
yeah.
they're resilient, and it's going to I believe something drastic has to happen for the collective to wake up.
Yeah.
And if this is the what is going to make us wake up and not be as distracted as we have been the last 20 years,
Hmm.
uh, then I think it could be a good thing. It's going to look ugly at first, but it could be a good thing.
It could be.
I agree, and I want to welcome Prism to the panel. Welcome, Prism. How's your day going?
Hey everybody. I didn't. Yeah, Alex, we already had our conversation in chat, but hey everybody.
What's up?
Nothing much. So I've been listening for a few minutes. I'm not gonna go into the healthcare thing. I think because healthcare is I think the premiums and all those things are changing because of the erasure of or the reduction of Medicaid and Medicare prices for the elderly, the redistribution of wealth in America, um, And of course, I think 2020 with the whole COVID issue, it caused a lot of different companies to go under. I think that as far as Black women, there's been disparities in healthcare that's been going on for years. Um, the issue with that one woman, do I think that's like that across the board? No, I don't. There's probably been plenty of women that have never had that issue. They went to the hospital, they've had their babies, and they've came home. So I don't want. We have to be careful about making, and this is what social media kind of does. It kind of makes it kind of increases everybody's anxiety about one story, and that might be just a few spaces in different pockets all over the country. So and honestly, that's probably a conversation for the medical community and its healthcare providers. But what else were you guys talking about? Because I think when I initially had this topic in mind, I think I had the topic in mind about the how can I say this, the landscape of Black women that I am running to online with some of these panels and things. So, has anybody talked about that point yet?
Mm, mm,
No.
mm. No, not yet.
Okay, so I kind of wanted to kind of run over some of the stuff about Black women. Digital images and the manosphere machine is what my talking points were. So we need to start thinking about how Black women are showing up online. And about how we're getting talked about online, especially in these manosphere, Black manosphere spaces. And now we have an unusual part of Black women's images being, how can I say this? It's more than damaged. Okay. We have women who are white women dressing up in blackface, targeting Black women who are of those same lower demographics. Um, and this is the time that we need to start thinking about our awareness, our self protection, and how to understand how these platforms are benefiting from our attention. I've been talking about this for the last 2.5 years, and I think that I've come to a conclusion about a lot of this stuff. Um, our stereotypes about Black women keep on getting recycled online. They are the channels that are having the most reward show the most extreme and disrespectful portrayals of who Black women are to drive their engagement. We are now the cultural comedy trendsetter of Black men and Black women and white men online. Um, the manosphere and all of their adjacents, they are incentivized to target Black women because they're looking for easy content. They're seeing these women going into grocery stores, fighting with one another. And of course, they're going to say, this is how these Black women are. These Shaniquas, these Keishas, these hair hat hooligans. These are all the names that are coming out about Black women. And I'm running into a whole bunch of Black women that say they care about Black women, but every time you turn around, they're on the panels with these men. Okay. Any thoughts about that so far?
I think most of these images are AI because there are AI images that are coming up that are being made to make Black women look bad. And we all know that these AIs are not real because none of this has been reported. We don't know the location of where these events are happening. So basically, there are people that want to destroy the image of Black women because we are now re-imaging our image and trying to rebrand our image to look more polished and to look more respectable. and people are seeing that, and they want to, bring that down a notch because they don't want to see Black women looking their best, enjoying their best lives, and they don't want to see Black women happy overall. So my whole thing is, this is why they are bringing up these AI images, because they want to bring the image of Black women back down, making us look ghetto, look hood, and look trashy. That's something that they want to put on us so we can look unattractive to everybody. That's all I have to say on that.
You have anything, Cyber?
Well, I'm going to address the um, Black women on the panels with men, these men. I believe that there's a small percentage of Black women like myself who hear things that we might get on the panel, and I think we're trying to defend instead of being silent. I think it's time to be silent, because you can only say the truth so many times. I do get kind of, I wouldn't say triggered, but if I hear too many lies, I have a tendency, I want to re debunk the lie, and I'm tired of hearing the same lies over and over in this space. There is a large percentage of Black women who do get on panels, and it doesn't seem as if they are controlled opposition. It seems like they are, after a certain amount of time, they acquiesce to the men. It's like they throw in the white flag. So until we put our foot down, be stern about giving our energy to these men, then we're going to be in the same position online. Not only are we fighting real humans online, we're fighting up against AI imaging. Until either we're going to start doing our own AI images. I'm not sure how that works. Until we start putting out our own messaging, then their message is going to be louder than ours.
So one of the things that I have been kind of concerned about is that this manosphere and their incentive to target Black women has become a whole ecosystem. It's a business model now. And there is a very vast difference between critiquing and targeted harassment. And the women that I've run into, and even over the last few days, I've watched, and there's certain things I do purposely just to do what I'm doing, just to get the information I need to get. I'll act like I'm very actively engaged with a lot of this stuff because I want to see the reaction from most people. And there is kind of like, I've had to go into different places to find out exactly the information that I need. So there is a certain amount of women that continue to subject themselves to the content. And I'm not sure, Cyber, like you were saying, if it's some sort of feigned loyalty for some sort of fake this, like I heard one person say, no, you can't, the women can't stop talking because we need this discourse. They really, it's not for the discourse. It is absolutely because they want the conversation so that they can get the exposure, so that they can get the clicks and the views on their channel. And there are a lot of these men that basically they track and they monitor and they dissect women's posts as content. If it's a woman talking about being, I don't know, let's just say she's saying that she's traveling overseas and she's enjoying her best life. That'll be content for them saying these women don't want families. These women just want to be this. These women don't want children, and all of these different things. And it's kind of like what they term like a parasocial hostility, where people develop a one-sided relationship based on their dislikes. And Black women, let me say this. Um, I heard Betterment say something about Black women are trying to improve their image. So in Cyber, you made the comment that it's kind of like if this whole system is kind of like if I don't know how we're going to repair the image when we have so many women willing participants to keep on being partakers of the men in these panels that destroy Black women's images. So because there's a reward in it for these men. I watched the other day. I watched. I'm not going to say the channel that I was on, but there was Obsidian on the channel, and there was a Black man confronting Obsidian about the fact that he was seeing no Black women and no couples having babies or being pregnant in his area due to this stuff getting around outside. People are not connecting anymore. People don't want to talk to each other anymore. And I watched Obsidian sit there and smile about the fact that people are not connecting. It's almost like he feels like he's kind of won some battle because of his own type of hatred for his own ills, whatever he's bitter about in his own life. He wants to see other people suffer for it. And I watched him smile. So one of the things that, and I know a lot of Black women are not going to stop. And I'm not saying that there are not certain channels that I don't feel like they're going over there and there's any hostility at all. There are some places that they have African-American men online. They have conversations with men and women that is not disrespectful. But the part is that when things start getting disrespectful, rather than women leaving and not engaging it, we kind of stay there. And I'm seeing a lot of women saying, you know something, I'm done. They're walking away. They're leaving their channels and or they're rebranding their channels where they're the only person on screen. They no longer do panels. And we see, i.e., we see Yanni, we see, what's her name? Light-skinned lady. I'm seeing her like, she's really pretty. Oh my goodness. Alex, she was on your channel one time. I can't think of her name. She makes the cornbread and stuff. But her and go ahead. What'd you say?
I've forgotten her too.
Yeah, I can't think of her name. I see her face, but I just can't think of her name. We have Paris Milan left. Lexus Exodus has her own space. Let me think. Yanni, B. Taylor. All of these women are creating their own spaces where they're not letting other men come up to have conversations, where they only talking. No, women are not. They're not having panels. And a lot of women are deciding to go behind paywalls like Patreon. They're doing private communities, meeting up in Zooms, meeting up in Google Meets so that they can have a space where women who are feeling burnout or harassment or the emotional toll of continuing to deal with these men, they are finding spaces where women can have conversations with women, where we can feed one another, nurture one another, while this political garbage, this online digital harassment and bullying continues. Women are just opting out. And so why does so I don't understand why women are not protecting their peace and their time and cleaning their algorithm. I heard a guy say a couple nights ago, he had an engagement with another guy, and he said, this is why I don't do panels. He said, as soon as I get off of here, I'm going to clean my cookies and clean my algorithm so none of these people show up again. And we have to understand that we are the mechanism that are feeding these guys that they're making money off of us. You do know that, right? Hello?
Yeah, we're here. Yeah.
Yeah, we're feeding them. We're feeding these men. We're allowing them to make money off of us every day. I watched Chaotic Truth a couple days ago, and there is and I'm going to have a conversation with a few of these women. I did not anticipate doing this tonight, and I don't want to. I'm not going to continue on because I don't want to get too further into it. But I'm good. I've reached out to Bourbon Bougie. I want to have a conversation with her, because she has a community of women. I would love to have her, You're Triggered, um, and a couple of other women. I just can't think of that one lady's name. She's light skinned, she's biracial, and I can't think of her name. It
Speaking of
begins
your
with
triggered,
cerebral talks. That's her name.
yeah, like
So
I think with your triggered, I haven't received videos lately because I am subscribed to her, but YouTube has been giving her a really hard time because people have been reporting her content,
hmm.
and I haven't
Why is
been
that
getting.
not surprising?
Yeah,
Think about this. They want to take down her, but they're not taking down Angry Man. Do you understand what I'm saying? How this stuff is being pushed through the algorithm. It's okay for Angry Man and all of these different men to have these conversations about women, but it's not okay for women like her to have any type of conversation about how men are showing up to us. And this type of stuff is it's predatory. It's a an attack on Black women's voices to have any views about anything that's going on, targeting us and how we are appearing in the world. So this whole debate me culture, debate me, public dogpiling, stitches, reactions, Obsidian said he's getting ready to write a book on women, why Black women are so angry. Almost every white supremacist Jim Crow stereotype, being a Sapphire, a Jezebel, um, being a mammy, being aggressive, being what's another one? The angry Black woman, um, partnering with the white man. Almost every stereotype that was put in front of Black women, these men are using it to make money off of.
they're
So,
yeah, they're
mhm.
using us to make money, but they don't realize that the white men don't like them either. Like you see what's going on with what's his name? He used to he's in MAGA, and he's everybody's turning on him. I forgot his name, but he's a lot of MAGA is turning on him, and there's and other Black MAGA content creators because they didn't like them in the first place. So a lot of these Black guys thought that these other races were on their side. They're getting their nigga wake up call from these white MAGAs because
Well,
they don't like them either.
but see, we're not. Let me say this: by and large, we're not. Black women are not really fighting the white algorithm. What they're fighting is the radicalized algorithm, which I told everybody that was one of the things that I brought to the space. That term, the radicalized algorithm, and really, what the algorithm is once you click on one thing and listen to it, it begins to push more of that stuff. You could clean your cache and your cookies and type in Black woman on the YouTube search bar, and you're going to find everything negative about Black women. So you have to understand the product is the fight. The money is in the conflict. If you ever notice, I want you to sit in the clouds one day. I want you to go to one of these panels where they have a lot of women and men on it. And I want you to watch how, once the fight starts, I want you to see how much super chats start coming in and how much engagement starts running up on 200, 300, and then people start joining it. So what are Black women going to do going forward? Are they going to say, I'm tired of being harvested for their content? I'm tired of being hunted online, and I'm tired of being targeted for profit. Are you going to go create a private community, a paywall content, a closed Discord, member only live streams? If you have a membership, and let me say this, You're Triggered, she has the ability to do this. She has a membership. What she can do is put all of her content behind her membership. In order to get access to all of her videos, you need to join that membership. If she wants to do a live stream, in order for those people to see that live stream, they would have to be, because it's not going to show up as a live stream where you can just say, okay, let me just see what's going on. You'd have to join her membership. That's another way. Because if you create enough private spaces and you're triggered, Bourbon Bougie, a lot of those women have huge followings on TikTok. One word from them with a comment that says, that lets them tell women, hey, for the next blah, 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 don't post anything about a date you had with someone. Don't post about this. Don't say anything about this, and watch what happens to the content. Stop telling everything. Stop talking about, oh, I went on a date with this guy and he didn't even want to take me out for coffee. Stop giving them content. Stop talking about it. I mean, is that making sense or not making sense? Stop showing up for this.
So what I'm hearing is it's going to take these large followers like a blackout.
So I don't even want to term it a blackout. I'm talking a walkout. So let me say this. If women can get together and say, drop the birth rates, no more giving births, and we've seen the birth rates starting to drop everywhere in America. Okay? So much so that there was a couple that said, y'all black women, y'all birth rates are below white people now. What's going on? You black women need to get to work. We already know that the highest percentage of people on the earth are right now between the ages of, I think it's 25 to 39. Those are all those birth people, those people that have the ability, myself and others who are able to give birth. And we're not connecting. And we're not connecting because of all this garbage going on. And so,
okay. So
go ahead.
So basically, the only way that this could stop is that black women that bash other black women, they have to change up their content and leave these men alone.
No, their content is going to dry up.
Yeah, I understand that, but for right now, their content is still going. And if they leave these men alone, stop joining their panels and stop engaging with them, period. You know, these guys are going to be left hanging dry because they're not going to have, women, backing them up anymore, because these women on these that's making contact against black women, they have to have a wake up call. That's the only way they can stop following these men. If they have a wake up call, realizing that these men are not for them, they really don't like them, and they don't like black women in general. So the only way that these women could stop going on these panels is a wake up call. They need to that's the only way. And as for women saying they are divested, but they're going on these men's panels, especially when these men don't like black women in the first place, they're not holding up what they stand for. If you're divested and you're trying to get turn your life around and trying to better yourself, you are not going on these men's panels to have a conversation with them, because these guys are not going to listen to you. They don't like women. So my thing is, these women have to leave these men alone. I don't understand why black women keep going on these men's panels. Like,
the trap of collectivism. It's the trap of collectivism. It's this whole conversation that we need to come together. that we need to build communities together. That this is it's the trap of collectivism. It seems like, let me say
Yeah,
this.
I was trying to pull that lie off today
Yeah,
on
this
the panel. I
whole
was trying to pull that lie to the front today.
that is the go ahead, Cyber, go ahead, finish
because
that. Go
once
ahead.
you start asking the right questions, then you realize that these people are individual thinkers. So if they're individual thinkers, why is this whole, oh, come together, black women need to have babies? Like, what are you really saying? And why are women just accepting these talking points? It I, I don't know.
Mm.
I'm not a content creator, so I couldn't tell you why.
Uh, I don't know if these women are getting desperate for men validation. I don't know what's going on.
No, I think we are addicted because we've been on defense for so many decades, right? That's what I think it is. I think we're addicted to defending ourselves.
I think that is too. But there are also women that are want male validation, and they rather throw under other women under the bus just to get that validation to say, hey, pick me.
It
I'm
happened
the
to me today. It was women on there giving rewards out to the men who were disrespectful to one of the women. On, and this woman is a known woman in the YouTube space. She was throwing out, you know, the cape.
oh, and that's why they were attacking her. Okay.
Hey, Corey. Yeah, so
And
let
then
me
when I
tell
got
you.
on the panel, I told her, this going back and forth. The reason why I got on the panel because of the way the man was attacking one of the women, and nobody was defending her.
It bullying, just grown adults bullying another grown adult.
But to see
Um,
the women, to what Prism is saying, the women, they it's like they have dual mass, right? On one side, they're talking like this, but then when it comes to defending and giving other women grace in front of these men, they don't give it.
yeah, I don't. I haven't seen a Ministerial channel in like 2 years. Like, I
Yeah,
don't. I don't
This is
follow
all over
them.
the place. It's not even manosphere. It's
but
everywhere.
she probably doesn't have it in her algorithm for her to watch the stuff. That's what I'm saying, that she's probably not watching any of this stuff. But let's kind of stay on this whole collectivism thing, because I think that's the catch 22. The catch 22 for black women is because a lot of black women are pro black male,
Yeah.
pro black community,
Yeah.
and it's inbred in us, and I hate to say it, the white man is the devil, the white man is the devil, the white man is the devil, the white man is the devil. And however, this whole dream that we're going to come together, we're going to build homes together, we're going to build families together, we're going to make y'all feel safe, you just got to be obedient and submissive to us, blah 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 blah. And black women keep going down that same road, rocky hills and everything, and that's never going to happen. I'm sorry.
It's more like a hamster wheel.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. Not in
Why
this
don't
America.
you?
Not ever again will there ever be. Like, I understand that there are that there are communities that have only but black people that live around, and most of those areas are probably not the most wealthy areas. Probably some of the most wealthy areas for black people, they're kind of sprinkled in with other black communities or white communities somewhere around them. So this whole pipe dream about we're going to get together, um all the classes of black people, we're going to live, we can buy land together, we're going to do this, that's never going to happen. And so what black men and black women in these spaces, and that's the pipe dream, that black women are hoping that that one black man, that's that one good one That one unicorn is going to pop out of somewhere and it's going to ride in on that white horse and take her somewhere. And that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And unfortunately, a lot of these women are sitting online. They're in their 40s. Some are in their 50s, single, still no. Some of them have no children. Some of them have children. And what they want to do is keep these women online long enough. And I'm going to tell you some of the tricks that these guys are playing. One of the tricks is the religious trick. And I found this out like over the last few weeks. I engaged this one person online, and he seemed like he was a very nice person. But when I started peeling back the layers of who he was in different spaces, I realized by looking at his account, he's been in the YouTube space since 2012. Which means he's familiar with all the foolishness way before Kevin Samuels, the David Carrolls. He's been here. Okay. He's been around with, I watched him go from space to space with all these wrenches on these different channels. And it wasn't like I was sitting there looking for him. I'm just like, he's over here too. He's there too. And I started thinking to myself, you know something? A snake is never a snake the way it appears to you. You never know until it strikes you, that it comes out of nowhere and strikes you. And I started realizing that a lot of these guys are Hebrew Israelites. And they're doing this type of, and I hate to say it, this marketing that is the let's get together and have these conversations with the women. And then what they're doing these meetups. Let's get together and have a meetup. The women and the men come do the meetup. Now, what do you think that's for? It's for these women to get access to these women, to see what they look like, to see which one am I going to tag it out with. You get me? This is their dating forum to find out who's going to be more susceptible to the submission and the what kind of money does she have? She making money? You know, what kind of way can I come up on one of these women? And some of these women are stupid. And I'm going to call you just what you are. I don't care if you get offended with me. You're stupid. Why would you go to a meetup with
I
people
realized
online?
that I didn't know YouTube. I didn't know that people were hooking up until like
people are hooking up, going in these discords, and they have these discords. Why don't you come to one of our prayer groups? I would never. And let me say this: I'm always nice, but once I figure out who you are, I let you know, and I'm emphatic to let you know you're my enemy, and I'm gonna treat you like an enemy, and I am. So when I tell you that you're my enemy, you need to start watching out for me, because I'm probably one of the most slipperiest enemies that you'll ever see, and I'll legally get you. And I couldn't believe.
So the question I would have is, why do women take something that's on the internet and insert it into their real life?
Because I don't know what it is about some of these African-American women, the desperation, the sheer desperation. And let me say this, there are so many women that they titled them pick-me's on the internet. And I'm not sure why they don't go into these sections where these pick-me women are. I think that these guys, it's really all about money. It's real. I'm telling you, it's all about the gotcha for this Black woman. This one, I had this, and I knew what I was doing. This person, and I really, he's not really the goal. He's the little fish that will hook the big fish. I'm not a dumb woman. I'm
so
very
you think
smart.
Black women are too nice online? Why aren't we capitalizing on the money factor?
Let me tell you something. Because we have too many men that are triggered by anything that's corrective or punitive to the appearance, because Black men, they've been through so much, the white man's getting them down and stuff like this. But I've never seen so many Black men in my life brandishing the Trump MAGA flag in my life about, we gonna get you BITCHs in line now that this man is in office, and this man is not thinking about you.
Exactly.
There's no one of representation in the Trump administration with a black face on it that's at the forefront, that's
But
making
here's the
any
thing.
rules or any laws anywhere.
But here's the thing. These guys are complaining about white supremacy and saying the white men keeping them down, but they had no problem getting them white women.
I'll tell you what, let me say this. I want to go back to this whole collectivism with some of these women and their inability to gather themselves, pick up their bags, and walk away from these conversations. I think one of the people that really hurt me is Tyranny. Tyranny was treated so bad, so poorly on that panel with Pearly Things. She was treated like trash on that panel. And I watched her get up the next morning and talk about how she loved black men and she didn't understand why blah, 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 blah. Another person, Sherelle. Sherelle is an articulate woman who's very passionate. Oh, she always angry and stuff. You know why Sherelle is really angry? Because Sherelle has put so much emphasis and time and energy into protecting the image of black men who has sit on panels every day tearing her down. Now they're going at Jazz. It was Courtney Michelle. It was this woman. I don't care how beautiful the woman is. Courtney Michelle is pretty. They talked about her this way. Then it was this woman. And if it's this woman, and then it's another woman, and then it's another woman. Every time it's the face of some woman, and it's always the same group of men. I want you to watch it. So let me say this. I jumped up on a panel because I heard a man say that to be anti-man is to be anti-God. Well, that's blasphemous. And I don't like doing a whole bunch of religious stuff because honestly, I don't care. And I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't care about the religious aspect of what men are talking about because I don't care about any of them. And sometimes you have to say it just like that. So he didn't say to be anti-woman and to be anti-man or vice versa, because I know they're sensitive, is to be anti-God. He said to be anti-man. And I thought that was really interesting that he made it seem like women was a secondary thought to God. So I was like, yeah, that's really blasphemous. And it sounds, and I never really got to put him in his place the way I needed him to. Because, and I know this guy, he's trash just like the rest of these dudes online. I'm going to say it just like that. And he basically had this whole thing about, it's Eve's fault. Well, that's what Adam said. He basically told God, it's your fault that you gave me this woman and she did this. So he had this conversation with me about, I said, well, Adam was right there when Eve sinned. And he said he was not. She was somewhere else. He was somewhere else in the garden.
He didn't question where the fruit came from. He just ate it.
Let me tell you, something. That's a good point. See how it takes women to think about women stuff and men don't even think. But anyway, the guy said he was not with her. I said, but the bitter shet. The bitter shet is that's the book of Genesis, the bitter shet.
Yeah, they don't read. The scriptures say clearly she turned and gave. So
okay, she turned and
I don't
gave.
get into scriptures with these men. Right. I don't get into that.
Here's the point. So I heard this person, they had this conversation and he was kind of like, yeah, he told, I saw Bridget Mouton in the chat and she asked this person, hey, is it true what Prism said? And he was like, no, because there's nothing to say that she was with him. So he gets on another panel, this same snake, the same religious snake. And he tells them that, she was wrong because it had a comma. It had a comma. So anybody, and the first thing I said to this person on Sharon's channel, I said, you need to get yourself a Hebrew Bible. And he was like, well, do you know Aramaic? And I'm sitting there acting, I'm going to play the game. Like, no, I don't. And I didn't say no. I was like, he's like, okay, we're going to go and said no. I said, yeah, let's go ahead and go with that. Because I do know something. I know a whole lot more than they think I know. So I'm going to play this game with some of these men because I feel like they're silly. You haven't even been to a college. You haven't even broke a book open. You haven't even went through and studied multiple religions because you don't care anything about education. These are the men that don't care anything about education, are trying to educate me on what a word means. Okay? These are these men. So I'm sitting here listening to him. So then I told him about the word Ama and the Ish and the Isha and the Paraclete and all of these names. And the Bereshit is what the book of Genesis is really called in the Pentateuch. Okay. So I'm listening to him and he was like talking about because there's a comma here, which means it's a pause there or a continuation. Everyone knows that the Bereshit in Hebrew is what they call continua scriptura. That is the Latin word for continuous script. That means there was no parentheses, no commas, or any punctuation in the script. They added commas and punctuation for English readers. So it would look something like this. Eve took the apple, gave her to her husband. It would be a continuously run-on sentence is what we would call it, with no punctuation. Now, this is why I'm saying I don't have conversations about religion, and I will never, ever have a conversation about religion again, other than to say that it's divisive. And I especially would not believe any group that was created past 1970 something. I don't get into these heyday cults that are racist, or I don't like this race of people, or only these sets of races of people are allowed into the kingdom, all these things, and breaking down. These guys want to break down who the 144,000 are and don't even live the life that's calling. Talking about this, if she's not a righteous man, if she's not looking for a righteous man, who said I had to be looking for a righteous man? What makes you think that you have
know
the
what?
right to
It's
tell me?
interesting that you said so you're
Go ahead.
saying that these men who don't have on these the garments, they're actually Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah, they're Hebrew Israelites.
Wow.
Because they're behind the scenes, these Hebrew Israelites. And I'm going to say this, they got more radicalized ones than others. But to me, they're all the same. I don't care who they are. I just know that I know, like let me say this. The Hebrew Israelites, they're the real Israelites. We're the real Jews. Okay, so we're Indians, we're blacks, we're Moors, we're Asians. We everybody. We're everybody. Black people are everybody. We Africans. We're God. We're goddesses. We're Adam. We're Eve. We're everybody.
So the collectivism is basically a trope.
Yes, it is. That collectivism is the reason why
it's like a hook. It's like a hook and sinker.
Brainwashed. And I'm gonna say it like that. They're brainwashed into believing more than what they should. Let me tell you something.
So you're saying the more and more these women on the panels, the more and more doubt sets in of their own who they are. This is why they continue the cycle.
The majority of Black women, they don't want anything more than a Black man. Nothing more. I saw somebody in the comment section said, I will die alone if I can't have a Black man. Well, sister, you gonna die by yourself. You gonna die by yourself. Not that you weren't gonna die by yourself anyway, but if that's what you're waiting on. And then I started reading more of her comments. Come find out she got children. And I'm like, you didn't have Black men. Like, what's going on here? And I'm not talking about, this is no divestment thing or swirling thing or whatever. But what Black people need to do is accept the reality. And I think one of the things that a lot of Black women have come to the conclusion, and I hate to say it, I'll be trying. I've been trying to not make some of these women right. But damn it, some of these women are 100 spot on about these Negroes online. Even I had this hope that some of these men are not who they say they are, but they are. A lot of them. I don't believe in any of them. In pockets, I have a few men that I say, okay, Sharon is a good person. I do. But Sharon is a businessman, and I get it. Okay? Amiri is a good man. Okay? Alex is a sweetheart. Corey is a sweetheart. I'm trying to think. Some other men online that I think are okay.
What do you think about the public defender? Like I've been like
Listen to
snooping
him.
on.
I don't
Huh?
listen. I don't listen to him. I
Oh,
don't. I don't listen to him at all. He could be. I don't know. He could be. I don't know. But I know that in these pockets of these groups of men who are on these panels, they're not righteous. I'm not going to even let you pop that one off on me. I don't care. You could speak fluent Aramaic. You could sing. Let me tell you something. You could sing in the tongue of angels, and I still don't believe that's who you are. I don't, you can, these men,
some of these men are very deceptive. Let me tell you something. I had to go to my local shopping center because I'm trying to eat more healthy. I'm more health conscious, and this one black dude want us to sign petition to restore the national forest or something. And I said, okay, sure, I'll sign it. And he said, well, what are you shopping today? I said, I'm gonna buy like something healthy, like a protein bar or something like that. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, I told him I'm trying to stay fit. He's like, well, don't lose too much weight. And I'm like, what's that supposed to mean? What are you saying? Like I didn't tell you I was losing weight. Like I'm eating more. I'm eating healthy. I've been hearing men like say that when black women are losing, they're starting to lose weight or trying to stay more fit and healthy, and they said, oh, you know, I don't want you to get too skinny. Like these guys are so fake. Like I can't take these guys seriously. Like seriously, I can't take them seriously.
look, let me say this because I don't want to go like too far into this because this really, honestly, I'm just trying to figure out for myself why black women continue to subject themselves to these spaces and stuff. Because let me say this, Sharon is middle of the line. Sharon came from the Fight Club and all of these different things. And that's not a problem. I don't have a problem with that. I know that when Amiri was online, there was a lot of different things that were happening because of that time. But I think we have to get to the point where we're just like, enough is enough. For people's like, I'm like, I have something that I'm going to do because sometimes it takes someone radical to do something radical to shift something. Okay. And honestly, I don't owe anybody an explanation about what I'm going to do and why I'm going to do it. Okay. But when it happens, you can best believe that there's going to be a quick action about all the stuff that's been going on in these spaces. There's going to be a quick response from Google because of it. Because enough is enough. Enough is enough. I feel like these men, let me jump on something really quick. I received a document that said by 2030, that's five years from now, that 93 million jobs were going to be eliminated. Yesterday, or was the day before, I sent a Miri about 6 videos of the Tesla robots, the dogs that are now the dogs that have been guarding Mar-a-Lago in Florida for Trump. Those dogs, those robotic dogs, are also active around the White House, from what I'm understanding. Those dogs are also doing military training. The robots, they're also testing them in fighting skills for the fact that they might be able to take over some of the law enforcement things that are going on. These robots will also be able to fold clothes, do laundry, deliver your food. Robotic cars. Google has been having the car. Somebody that I know said that that car has now been able to start going off of around the Google complex and out the Google complex. They now have cars that are showing up that are AI generated. They're testing AI generated tractor trailers. A lot of these positions that these guys are in, tech positions that they keep brandishing about, that they're not all, you black women, y'all gonna lose y'all jobs, blah, 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 blah. A lot of those jobs in that 2030 and moving on are going to start being eliminated. There are very few jobs. And kind of funny, I started thinking about somebody started making a joke about someone having a social work degree. That's one of the jobs that'll never be eliminated. Remember how guys were laughing about women with social work degrees? That's one of the jobs that'll never be eliminated. Psychologists, never be eliminated, because robots can't do human touch and possess human emotion. One of the things I realized, I started playing with the AI system, the Chat GPT, and I started realizing that I'm giving, as much as it's giving me information, I'm giving it information. Do you understand what I mean? So I think Black women, and I need you to understand this, you have 5 years. With Trump having been rolled back, a lot of these education standards for nurses and nurse practitioners and all of these different pharmacy and stuff and blah, 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 leaders and pastors and stuff. These men are hoping and holding on to the fact that they think that women are going to come to a table. They're going to be ready to give birth. I heard this old man talking about, you black men, hold on, you're going to be able to have 5 and 6 of these BITCHs coming soon. This is the delusion that's going on.
But they will, if these jobs are replacing, law enforcement and other these tech jobs, will they don't have a job as well?
Well, I'm telling you right now, the way that Elon Musk and all of these guys have been moving, some of these transhumanists, if you think about it, I need everybody, when they get a chance, to go over and read the 2045 initiative. Okay? You need to stop playing let these guys play these games online about what's been happening. A lot of these men don't even know what's going on. Okay? They don't stay in tech spaces. All they do is talk about, we got tech, we doing this. We're going to have a conclave. You ladies need to come to the conclave. You ladies don't need to go to no conclave. You ladies need to stay as far away from these conclaves with these men, these meetups, as possible. You're putting yourself in danger. You're sitting there meeting up with men who have, I hate to say it, prison records. If you're willing to take that on, that's your business. But don't come back to black women talking about what happened to you. Don't come back to us. You stay right on over there, sis. Because there's some of us that take our safety, our mental health, our accomplishments, our families, and other people who we love and we relate to on a daily basis, we take them seriously. But if you want to go ahead and settle down and settle out for whatever you can get, do that. But don't come back over here. These women need to choose better. These women need to be choosing better. If you're going to choose better, it ain't going to be none of these men online.
Oh yeah, because that's what they're preying on these women, and some of these women have weak mindsets too. They have weak mindsets. They don't know, like they don't they don't know how to discern whether a man is telling the truth or he's just hiding behind a mask. Like as women, we have to have more discernment. We can't let these guys fool us into getting into a relationship that's not going to benefit us. He like, and especially when he's not going to, give anything or put anything into the relationship. We have to realize what the red flags are. You guys need to look out for these red flags within these guys, because we can't be going out and just dating anybody just because they ask us out on a date. Like I had men approach me and I chase them away because I'm not about that life. I'm not about to, go out and randomly just date anybody just because they ask me to go out on a date. I don't know you. Okay? I let them know who I am real quick. And I let them know I'm not about to play these games. I'm not a kindergarten. I'm a grown ass woman. I'm a 38-year-old grown ass woman, and I don't have time to play games. I don't play patty cake with my life.
Yeah, this whole trying to push and shame women. Oh, she not pro family. Sure I am. I'm pro family with the man that I choose, whoever he is. I'm gonna be honest with you, and they probably won't like it, and I don't really care. I'm not sold on that I have to marry a black man. And now that I'm hearing all the stuff that I've been hearing and interacting with all the stuff that I've been interacting with, I'm almost pretty sure I will probably seek elsewhere outside of the United States
Oh,
because
I
I'm
probably
sick
have
of
to do the same thing too, because
it's like
but but I have to
disgusting what's going on here.
the thing is that I'm probably gonna have to still use my discernment radar, because just because you go outside the United States, that doesn't mean that there's guys that are like just like the men in the United States. We still have to use our discernment, because some of these guys, they still have that superiority complex. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so and plus these guys are like, some of these guys outside of the United States, they have that tradition where they want the wife to give birth, stay home, be a housewife. If that's something that a woman likes, go ahead. But as far as that, we still have to have our discernment wherever we go. You know, I'm not saying guys, I'm not saying that every guy is like that, but we have to be careful outside as well who we connect with. That's all I'm saying.
Look, let me say this. I these guys have definitely been a wake up call of what black culture looks like or black communities look like. I was on looking at Flora's channel the other day, and when you get a chance, go over. There was four, was it four, and different generations of men, trafficking black 14-year-old black girls.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I would almost wonder, like, what would these men are not protecting anything. They're not going to protect anything. They couldn't. They're not. They have no capacity to do it. I think the laws need to get more stringent. I'm gonna say it again. The laws need to get more stringent. They need to stop playing around because this stuff is harming everyday people.
But here's the thing: is that when you have a PDF file in the White House, there's um he's they're not gonna start pushing those laws to where it protects women. But if you talk to your like uh what if you talk to the your politicians in your state and let them know, hey, this is what's going on in this community, and this is what I'm witnessing, this is what I'm seeing. and I want some kind of law to prevent this from happening in the future, they might do it, or it depends on your politician. But I would, if your politician is no good and they don't want to, pass laws that protect women and girls, period, then that politician needs to be replaced with someone who is willing to protect the women and girls in that community.
Yeah, I had seen something like a couple of days ago. I thought it was interesting. It was an AI generated. It had black women standing around with firearms, and it had this sign saying, "Not your victim." I was like,
That's
"That's
really
kind of little."
dangerous messaging. That's
Yeah,
really
that's
dangerous.
kind of little too late.
Like, this is what I'm saying. Whoever is doing this AI behind the scenes, I hope we get their IP address, or
Or we can start doing generating our own AI imaging.
yeah, but I really want to get the person that is doing that, because
Hey, I'm with fight fire with fire.
yeah, and I believe that finding out who's doing it is fighting fire with fire, because this person is uh is um is damaging the image of black women, and and this person needs to be his face needs to be shown in public, so people will know that this person is very
But I think it was more of a campaign for the femicide, but they didn't tell the truth of why. It wasn't no content to the imaging. It's just like we just see a bunch of black women holding up a sign, "Not your victim." But the problem is they're not telling the truth of why they are victims.
So here's what I'm proposing, because I'm not going to stay on. Um, I've been actively engaged in something, and what I've decided to do, because American women, in these spaces, especially black women don't care enough about themselves in these spaces to be caring about anything other than what they think. I've watched these black women, and I'm not saying all of them, because I definitely know for a fact that I know Cynthia G, I know Bourbon Bougie, I know You're Triggered, the Sovereign Woman. Um, I'll even say I'm going to go there. DZ, Paris Milan, I believe Lexus, Exodus, and I'm probably going to forget some women because I don't want to, but I need women to start going over listening to Stephanie Perry. I need you to start thinking about your exodus from America. I need you to start getting in the pre-planning stages. You can go to Switzerland, you can go to um, New Zealand, you can go to Denmark, you can go to the Netherlands, you can go to Amsterdam, you can go to Japan, you can go to South Korea. You guys need to start thinking about getting away from some of these toxic cycles. I told Amiri one day, I said, I felt more at home. Hey, Amiri, love you. Thanks for coming. I felt more at home abroad in Korea amongst people who don't even look like me. I felt more free. I felt more peace and tranquility than being around in America, not knowing if somebody's going to, what's your phone number? And I don't want to give you my phone number. I feel more safe in other men's countries than I do feel in America. And I started coming up, and like I said, I decided that I was going to start working with other women of other countries. And some of those women are in the UK. And I've already started making connection with those women. I've started making connections in some other places because I feel like that a lot of Black women don't care enough about themselves to walk away. And when I say walk away, I mean walk away from these guys' ability to make money off of you. Because when you walk away from stuff, it gives power. They lose their conflict. They lose the conflict. They lose their gotcha moments. They lose watch time. And they lose what the algorithm is going to do. Stop, refuse to be exploited. So I made up something, and this is going to be my statement going forward. Other women can do whatever they want, but this is for me. I'm going to say this one time, clearly and calmly. I do not join red pill panels. I do not debate my identity, my gender, or my worth with men online. I'm not here to be talked over, argued with, or used for your content. If a space is built around provoking women, dysregulating their systems, and abusing them, I'm no longer stepping into it. This is my boundary. This is not a fear. If you want a respectful conversation, build respectful places. If you want drama and debate, then I'm no longer your person. Do not invite me to your panels or your lives that are meant for arguments. I create my own space, my own energy, and I'm protecting my peace. This is who I am going forward. I can give that script to Alex for him to put on his wall, but I think that I'm going to speak to Bourbon Bougie and all of those women because they're on Reddit. They have a large, massive amounts of followings on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter. We need to actively disengage from women making posts for these guys to be able to say, haha, see what she put on Twitter? This is what I'm talking about, these women. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to find a way to drop the algorithm. We're going to destabilize this whole system by walking away. And you're going to find out how much power feminism really does have. Those women who don't join, I guarantee you they'll be less than us. It's just time to move away. It's time, like, to keep your peace. I'm sick and tired of hearing women dysregulated and angry because they can't even get a thought off. I told somebody, I said, you guys put landmines all over social media for Black women to walk into, for us to step on and be detonated and blown up at any moment because of the stuff that you've done in these spaces for over 10 years or 15 years or however how long. And I said, and I was determined when I walked into this space that I was coming with a bomb strapped on my back. And I meant that. I was determined that when I walked into this space, that it was not going to be any unusual interaction with these men. That I was going to come in purposeful with my engagements to make sure that they understood. And that's the reason why I named myself Prism. It has nothing to do with math. Prism is showing all the colors of the light from light. It reflects everything. It reveals everything, if you want to say it that way, because that's what I'm going to do to everyone. You're on a public platform. You said a whole lot. Osnet and all of these different things have captured every one of your comments. I'm getting stuff in my inbox all the time from people telling me, look at this, look at this, look at this. And I have to realize I'm a human being. These women are human beings. They're not content. What is this doing to your blood pressure, your cortisol? I heard Tanya TKO, and I usually don't listen to her. She was talking about women coming up with all these fibromyalgias and aches in their bodies because of the burdensome of dealing with these men online. And these men don't realize how burdensome they are. They don't realize what a burden they are. So I decided to join. I've already started reaching out and connecting with a lot of different women in different spaces to eradicate this issue. And I'm determined, and I never lose. And when I say it's going to be massive, it's going to be massive. And I'm not going to tell you what my goal is. I think most people, by my conversation, you should know what my goal is. And they're not going to have a way to refute it. They're not. So I think that's probably the last words that I really have for this live stream. Because I'm tired of seeing Black women being hurt, because we're not Keishas, we're not hair hat hooligans, we're none of these people, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all of these disparaging words. I'm tired of seeing women cry. I'm tired of seeing Black women tired, fatigued from Black male fatigue. I'm tired of the exhaustion in their voices, the exasperation that I'm hearing, the tenor of like, you have not created a place where a woman can even come in and be feminine. And we're not going to show up feminine. You need to be feminine for the man that gives you the space to be feminine. And it's not in these spaces. It's in the individual man who's talking to you, sitting across from you, that when you disconnect from the internet, it's that person that you connect with and say, I did it. And he tells you, I'm proud of you. You did it. It's that man that's holding you in his arms that says, I got you. It's that man that mirrors who you are. That he has that same fire that you release off. He's not scared of the flame. He holds that flame within him. Not these weak men talking about submission and leadership. The strongest man I know is able to hold a woman in her strength. I don't want to hear nothing from these weak men online. And as the word my brother and my friend Amiri Brown said, with your conquered mouths, sitting online 24 hours a day, with your conquered mouths and your conquered behavior and your conquered victimhood. And you want somebody to pick you up and carry you when you're stepping on them. This is what Black men on these spaces are doing. And they have no ability to see it for themselves, that the very women that you think why would you think anybody would want to share a home with you? Have children that look like you when you treat them like this? What makes you think that somebody would even want to? No, we don't want government marriages. We want spiritual marriages. So basically, you want a booty call regularly. That's what they want. They want the hookup culture in their home. You're not good enough to be their wife, not by the government, because they don't want to lose anything. You're not good enough for that. You're not good enough to carry somebody's last name and be respectfully and treated. Like, do y'all know there's free healthcare in other countries where men are allowed to stay home with their wives and their children for 3 years and get paid for it so they can bond with their families? Why are y'all dealing with this stuff? Why? Why? I want somebody that look just like me. And they're the ones that marry out the most. I don't care about a baby looking just like me. I'd rather have somebody that has character and they're honorable and they respect their parents and they're loving and they're humble and they treat me well, that I'm not a secondary thought. Like, I'm the leader, you're going to do what I don't want a man like that. Is that what you're worth? I'm going to let these women stay in their delusion, and they'll be here 5 and 10 years later from here, bitter, because they were on these panels with these men wasting their time and their lives. You can't get this time back. You know that, right? But I'm not going to let them waste my time any further. I'm going to hook up with women who really care, who really want to take care of these issues. I don't blame these women for being angry. I don't blame some of the stuff that some of these women online are saying about these men. I don't blame them anymore because I'm seeing it for myself now. Correct, Corey. You're right about that. It doesn't. No, you there? Like, men don't think you even good enough to be a partner. Then what do you need me for? If I'm not your partner and I'm not your best friend, what do you want me for? What do you need me for? They had a problem with the word I said. A woman is here to assist a man. I'm trying to be very tender and ginger by saying that a woman is here to assist a man with his physical needs as well. If you don't need a woman to assist you with your physical needs, by all means, have the baby oil and lotion. Or another man, if that's what you choose. I'm all free about that thing. If that's what you want, I love it for you.
You know they're already doing that. So
I wouldn't be surprised with some of these men in these spaces. That's why they dislike you so much, because they cannot accept the fact that this is who they really are. So we have to be punished for it. And I've never seen a bunch of men so angry at Megan Thee Stallion. I have never seen so many men mad at that woman and wanting her to fail. It's almost like it's just like a sickness. This thing with Megan Thee Stallion and Sierra needs to be studied. You don't have the right to be happy or loved or protected as a single mother. How she should have been with Future, who's had about how many other babies since her baby. Megan Thee Stallion does not deserve to be loved by that good biracial man. I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
Yeah, they still
Not happy. How
they,
dare Meg be?
they believe that she doesn't deserve happiness after what happened to Tory Lanez sent her in jail. I'm like, in my opinion, like Meg Thee Stallion, I rooted for her all the way in that relationship because she's doing the damn thing. They seem happy, and I'm all for it. And I'm like, don't listen to these haters that are online because they're just hating, looking through the lens because they can't have a relationship like that, and they're just trolling and spewing out their miserable lives. So I'm happy for Megan Thee Stallion that she finally found someone that she can connect with versus all the black men that she was with. Those relationships didn't even last for a year. Look. So I'm glad that she found something real, and I hope one day they get married, or hopefully it gets that way, because people are just praying for their downfall, and we just have to pray against it. And hopefully this relationship continues, because I'm all for it. I'm all for Meg Thee Stallion being in a relationship with this dude.
So yeah, I'm getting ready to drop off. But Alex, yeah, we're gonna do the other live stream, but it has nothing to do with any of this stuff. So this is
I'm gonna drop too.
This is as far as this goes, as far as my disconnection from YouTube, as far as the conversations with the manosphere or going forward or having conversations or in panels. The very last conversation that I'm going to have and it will not be anything concerning any of this, and that will be at a later date. Um, but I do not desire any further to have any conversations with any of these African American men online, other than Mary Brown. The people that I talk to behind the scenes, that's never going to stop. That's going to keep on being what it is. Um, as far as all of this other stuff that's been going on, I have no desire to have any conversations with these men any longer. I don't want to have a conversation. I don't believe in your form of religion. My religion tells me that every ethnos will appear before whatever's going to happen. And I have some, like I said, I don't want to get into religion because I've got a lot of thoughts about this stuff, and I'm gonna leave that alone. But I don't think any of these men are righteous. None of them. The men who are righteous live it. Your conversation means nothing to me. They live it. I can't. You to me, you just like everybody else on these spaces, and that's what I meant when I say to people that if I walked and I saw a bunch of ducks in a distance, and when I get up close to them, that it could be a swan, it could be a goose, and ducks together floating around. But what makes me look just like you is if I stay in this same lake with you with the same garbage that you're doing. And that's why I'm exiting and flying away to do what I need to do. I'm not going to stay a part of this foolishness anymore because there is no healing. And I meant this. There is no healing. There is no restoration. There is no reconciliation as a large community of Black culture coming together. Some people don't want nothing to do with y'all. Because I know you don't think Jay-Z and Beyonce and all these people going to come in and bring their Black money with y'all. They're not going to do. They're going to keep as far away from you as possible. That's why they live in Pacific Palisades, where you can't even get down the road without security knowing who you are. People have already been separating themselves from this garbage. They don't want anything to do with it. People don't want to be dealing with this foolishness anymore. I don't want to live in community with you either. Sorry, I don't. I'm trying to stay as far away from this garbage as possible. All you guys do, it's like this stuff is like a cancer. That once it gets in you, the only way to get out of it is to cut it out. These dopamine drops that keep on happening every day, all day long, fighting, arguing. I can't imagine what the brains of people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, and some of these people are already old, so their brains are degenerating as it is. I can't imagine sitting around all the time, smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, smoking weed. I cannot imagine talking about weed is good for you. Well, the smoke that you're inhaling is not good for your lungs. So one way or another, it's going to show up. It's going to push your blood pressure. It's not cleaning out your arteries. Every time you smoke it, your heart is doing some sort of, some rhythmia, some speeding up of the arrhythmia. Eventually it's going to cause some sort of issues with your heart. You know, tachycardia is one of the things that happens when you start inhaling marijuana, no matter what the strain is. So eventually your heart is speeding up, which means the muscle starts getting weaker, which means you could have hypertrophy, your left ventricle, right ventricle, you know, you could have aortic tears in your heart. And nobody knows that better than Kevin Samuels drinking all those Red Bulls. But you think that people want to connect with you. Stuff is sickening. I need a man whose mind is coherent 20, and he can speak coherently. I need all his faculties involved at one moment when I'm having a conversation with him. I don't need his moods affected by pharmaceuticals. That's not a turn on for me. I don't want to even smell it. I don't even like men who smoke like that. I don't. So, Alex, this wasn't generally like the way that I anticipated because I really didn't know you were doing the live stream, but I'm glad that we did what we had to do. Um, I am going to drop off. I will connect with you concerning the next live stream, which will have nothing to do with the other. Thank you to my brothers, of course, Corey and Amiri, for showing up like you always do. And didn't even ask you, and you show up. And that's the one of the things that I know about people who are really in your corner. That's one of the things I know about people who really are in your corner. So I didn't even ask them to show up, and they did. So that says a whole lot to me. Thanks to Cyber, Betterment, Indiana Mom, and the other people that were listening to Clouds. I appreciate you, Alex. I'll reach out to you ASAP about the next panel. But as far as I'm concerned, I will send you that little comment that you can add to your wall about walking away. And this will be it. Okay. But
Okay.
behind the scenes, some of the other bigger content creators, female content creators, we're going to go ahead and start strategizing on how we need to start telling women to walk away. And the birth rates are already dropped into hell. I'm sure coming out pretty soon, the marriage rates, they're going to start talking about the marriage rates. And they're going to make everything so pro-man that women are going to, like, women are actually going and getting their tubes tied. It's crazy. Women are actually going to get their tubes tied. And I say, if you have to go to that limit, why not leave the country? Leave America. Go over to Stephanie Perry's page. Listen to her talk about the exodus out of here. Get out of here. Why do you care about being here? Half of you don't see your families anyway. They have telephones, they have Facebook, they have FaceTime. Like, what are you missing? How about peace of mind? How about free health care? How about going overseas and realize that America has been poisoning you with the food, and every time you go over to another country and you start eating the food, you're like, why am I losing all this weight? It's because they're not putting all those additives in the food. Sick people make money. So, anyway, thanks, Alex. Have a good night, everyone.
You too. Thanks for coming.
All right. I know you have to go and work tomorrow, Alex, but I just want to say one more thing that, I do have to agree with Prism like that, because we still have Black women out there that are still naive and blind to what they are doing and trying to go up on these men's panels. Because I have seen a video where I seen a woman on Obsidian's panel, and when she tried to say something, he told her to shut up, B, and she said okay, like she was being obedient or something, and I'm just like, that is sad. Like, I never seen a woman uh, be that desperate and to having a man tell her to, to call her out her name and call her a B word. Like that is so disrespectful. And I wish women had more self worth and more self respect for themselves,
Hmm.
because we should not allow men to call us the B word. And what I'm sitting in call her was so disrespectful. Like I I I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Because I wouldn't have made a scene if a man would have called me a B word and you would expect me to be submissive. Hell no. You don't disrespect me like that. So I'm gonna leave the panel too. It's not necessarily late where I'm at, but I just wanted to point that out and let y'all know that there are still black women out there that are still that I still have that submissive mindset, and it's gonna be the death of black women. But I'm gonna go now. I'll see you in the next life.
All right, Betterment. Thanks for coming. And yeah, everything they said tonight was factual and everything. And you see, I stayed quiet to let them, to let them talk. And I would say that's because I want to hear what women have to say. I'm not like these red pill dudes out here. I'm not like Myron Gaines. I'm not like Hannah Pearl Davis. And I'm not like Donovan Sharp. I will let the woman speak. And then if I have a thought, then I'll go ahead and give it. If I have a thought that's going on in my head, or if I have something to say, then I'll say it whenever the woman is finished. Because let's be real, a lot of red pill men, they they and this is why I said in my Thanksgiving live stream yesterday that these men wouldn't make it in professional wrestling. They wouldn't make it in any corporate space because of how they act and how they talk. They wouldn't make it. If something goes wrong, they always look to blame either the woman or they find someone else to blame. That's all they do. But yeah, I want to thank everyone for coming to the stream, for coming to the live stream. Um, and December 8th will be my final live stream of this year, and it will be on a Monday. I don't know which time it will be, but I'll let y'all know whenever I get the chance to. But yeah, um, and and next year I still will be doing the black femicide stories as usual, and I will continue with the case stories. Um, and yeah, so and that will happen next year. But this year, my last live stream for this year will be on December 8th. But yeah, I will. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Um, and for coming. Make sure to like, comment, share this video. we'll share the live stream to whoever wants to hear it. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and make sure you're notified whenever I go live or put out videos. And until probably will I think I will be going live next Saturday as well. But yeah, I want I want to thank y'all for coming to the live. Love, peace, and happiness. Make sure you check on your loved ones. And until next time, peace.